So my post about how you can have the occasional binge without fat gain has certainly garnered a lot of attention. And the point I had made was you can use concepts like fasting as well as strength training to avoid the fat gain. Because even if the binge brings in a lot more calories than you've actually burned, there's something that's happening in the body that's allowing it to do a better job of quickly soaking up the calories and the nutrients before it gets stored away as fat. So Mr. Karthikeyan Madathil left an interesting comment on this post. And his point was that most cultures seem to have evolved a period of this fasting or reduced consumption before a binge festival, and that usually happens at the time of a harvest. And normally there would be a lean period before this harvest. But his next point is, did evolution teach the body that? Because agriculture has barely started a fraction of the time that the human body has been evolving. And a second point was, if evolution really has built in the mechanisms for over absorbing these nutrients, then you would see it not just in humans but in other animals as well. And he is absolutely right. Let's think about it intuitively. Through evolution, a sudden access to a large amount of calories and nutrients would have usually been the reward of maybe an extended hunt or something that was physically very intensive. What the body cells would have adapted to do is soak up nutrients and try and soak up and store a little extra, because you don't know when this event is going to happen again. And you'll see a similar behavior in animals. For example, if you watch carnivores on National Geographic, you'll see that they'll tend to give up a hunt of a smaller prey in the hopes of catching a larger one. The whole idea is to save their energy to be able to catch the largest source of nutrients. Once again, their cells will need to do the same, which is go ahead and try and absorb as many of those nutrients as possible from that meal, because the next large meal is not defined. But this is true lean. So beyond intuition and evolution, science also has to come into the picture. So has this actually been proven? It has. And way back in 1966, it was already known that muscles store glucose in the form of glycogen. Now, a pair of Scandinavian researchers, Bergstrom and Hultman, found that let's say you don't do any activity and there's glucose stored in the muscle and you have a very high carbohydrate meal, then the muscles can tend to store a little more than they normally would. But if you depleted the muscle of stored glycogen through extended exercise and then had a very high carbohydrate meal, the muscle could actually stuff itself with up to 2 times the stored glycogen. This is called supercompensation, and endurance athletes take advantage of this today as well. For example, if you have a bike ride or a race coming up on a Sunday, you will find that there is a long period of extremely low carb intake and intense training, and for the last 3 days before the actual event, there are a number of planned high carbohydrate meals where you essentially refill all the glycogen back. The intent is the day you step into the race, you want your liver as well as your muscles to be super compensated with glycogen, which gives you the maximum possible ability to perform at your very best. At the end of the day, intuition and science do have to come together for a theory to make sense. And in this case, it absolutely does. Then again, that is what True Lean is all about. If you've enjoyed the way True Lean presents the science behind fat loss, health and fitness, please like, subscribe and do share these videos.